$12.50. Farmer's Home Tavern is the winner of Saginaw's Best of the Best Hamburger Award for 12 years and running. Join them on Saturday, June 24th for the Kent Hunt Motorcycle Run. And every Thursday is Bike Night. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment. Text radio to 64,000 to try Babbel for free. That's radio to 64,000 to try Babbel free. RADIO to 64,000.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Men, you fought hard for the role that you play in your children's lives. This Father's Day, Cordell & Cordell celebrates you the entire month of June. Join us every Friday for our live webinar series, Father's Fridays. There you will receive much useful information from our panel of speakers. To register, go to CordellCordell.com/Father's Day.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 59 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchek. One man was killed and 6 other people were injured in a crash on the Center Road in Flint on Tuesday. According to the Flint Police Department, a Lincoln Corsair, occupied by 2 adults and 4 juveniles, crashed head-on into a Chevy Silverado near Davison Road around 8 p.m. Officials say the driver of the pickup truck, 64-year-old Kenneth McClellan, was pronounced dead at the scene. The occupants of the Corsair were taken to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators say speed may have been a factor in the crash. The Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team, or GHOST, and several partner agencies recently conducted a welfare check on 40 juveniles as part of its annual juvenile rescue operation. Officials say the youngsters may be at risk for human trafficking as people who are not attending school or not reporting to Child Protective Services after being in the system. Police say if the kids have run away, they want to know why. The kids are asked a series of questions to help identify human trafficking victims. Anyone with information about potential human trafficking is encouraged to contact their local police department. Father's Day is taken to new heights with the 67th annual Father's Day breakfast at the James Clemens Airport in Bay City. WSGW's Christiana Malacara shares the details.
The Valley Aero Club has a long-standing tradition to celebrate Dad. On June 18th at 7 a.m., breakfast begins and continues until noon. Papa Tony's is serving up a pancake breakfast, $12 for adults and $6 for ages 5 and up. The celebration continues with train rides, aviation displays, $35 per passenger airplane rides. The James Clemens Airport is located at 614 South River Road. For more information, call the airport at 989-895-8991. Christiana Malacata, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time 9:07.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Michigan's only state-run psychiatric hospital for minors may be the subject of a state committee hearing. Senator Michael Weber has petitioned the Health Policy Committee to look into the Hawthorne Center in Northville Township, referring to serious concerns. In his letter requesting the hearing, Weber says at least 17 patients have escaped from the center, and the facility is the target of a lawsuit filed over an ill-advised active shooter drill in December. Staff members who were not told about the drill called 911 to report active shooters armed with AR-15s had stormed the building. A gun ban could be in place on the grounds of the Michigan Capitol as early as Labor Day this year. Michigan News Source's Katie Hyde reports.
The Michigan Capitol Commission provided an update this week. The security plan would include a total firearm ban on Capitol grounds. In addition, equipment for a pass-through has been ordered from a Grand Rapids-based company. For Michigan News Source, I'm Katie Hyde.
There's still more questions than answers surrounding the deaths of 3 Grosse Pointe Woods pizza workers. The bodies of 3 friends, 2 women and a man, were found inside a house on Anita Street around 9 o'clock Saturday night. According to a police report, police found a white powdery substance near one woman's body. The report also says police gave the father of the male victim his wallet, and the next day, walking through it, the man found a small plastic bag containing a white powdery substance inside. He called the police to turn it in. All 3 victims worked at Saucy's Pizza in Grosse Pointe Woods. WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Thursday sees a cold front moving through with scattered rain showers and then some thunderstorms into the mix during the afternoon. These thunderstorms could bring some small hail around 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch in diameter. Temperatures for today are also going to be into the lower to middle 60s up north, but still closer to 70 for an hour or two this afternoon if you're in Flint. And our rain totals today, generally expecting 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch, though 1/2 of an inch is easily attainable directly under one of the storms. For tonight, we'll have a low of 53 degrees. Those showers coming to an end. Friday, 76, mostly sunny with a north-northeast wind gusting to 20. Friday night has a low of 50. Then Saturday, we see 80 with sunny skies. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
And currently 59 degrees under cloudy skies here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed. Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. With an expanded showroom and expanded product lines, everything you need for home decorating can be found at Westside Decorating Center. Well, good morning to you. It's been a while since I said that. 12 days, thereabouts. Been on vacation, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. After I'm done with that, then we'll have open phones for the remainder of the show through 11 o'clock this morning. At 989-752-6111. That is the number to call. And if I click on my StreamYard here, I can get my video up. There we go. We'd love to have you do some conversation with us. You can give us a call at 989-752-6111. And that would be the number to call. It would put you in touch with us. But again, you can call in if you want, but you're going to hold on for a while because I just want to get some thoughts out there that I had during vacation, tell you a little bit about what we did, the goods, the bads, and even some of the ugly. And my thanks go out to those who filled in for me. Matt Falon did quite a bit of it. Lauri Rodarte, Jonathan Dent, and I think Charlie Rood did a little bit too. So I thank all of them for filling in on the show and putting their perspective out there, if you will. As many of you know, if you've been listening for any length of time, my lovely wife and the love of my life for 56 years passed away in January, exactly 5 months to the day from today. And we had always made plans to take her ashes or remains back to Pennsylvania, to her mother's gravesite, which was her wish. And we didn't want to do it in February, March, because the weather can be really tricky and nasty. So we put it off till this month, when all the family could be there. And they were all there, all her brothers and sisters. And it was inspiring, at the same time difficult, as you can imagine. And we did place part of Linda with her mother, and brought part home, and it was touching. The family, I before we actually placed her on her mother's grave, we asked if anybody in the family wanted to say something, and it was quite inspiring. I mean, it went around the horn, and my sons said some things, and it was a very nice, unofficial, if you will, memorial for my wife, and I was eternally grateful to the family. I mean, they are my family. Other than a cousin in Kansas City and one in Connecticut, I really don't have any other family. I mean, I was an only child. I had no brothers or sisters. My mom and dad passed. So her family is my family. And I promised them that I would continue to go back to Reading from time to time to visit, which I will. But every time in the past, when we'd go to Pennsylvania, I would take Amtrak from Philadelphia into New York City, and my sons wanted to go in to the city, and one of my daughter-in-laws, Kim, was with us. The other daughter-in-law, unfortunately, had to work, couldn't go. So we took Amtrak in on Tuesday. Would have been a week ago Tuesday, the day when the air quality in New York City and in Philadelphia were the number 1 and number 2 worst air qualities in the nation because of the Canadian wildfires. We took Amtrak in the morning on Tuesday from Philadelphia, and it's only an hour and 15-20 minute ride from Reading to Philadelphia to get Amtrak, so it's not that bad. That was before I-95 collapsed, although we didn't go on I-95, but it would have thrown a lot more traffic into the mix. I took the train into New York, and you come into the new Moynihan Great Train Hall, named after Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a long-time politician in New York, and it's beautiful. I mean, they really did a magnificent job on it, rather than using the old Penn Station. The old Penn Station now is primarily Long Island Railroad, and all of Amtrak and part of Long Island Railroad goes out of the Moynihan Great Train Hall. Grand Central Station is Metro North and all the commuter stuff. So we get into the city, and it's not bad. It was okay. And we were there from about just before noon till 6:30 in the evening. And by the time we were ready to leave at 6:30 in the evening, the smoke had rolled in. The haze was thicker and thicker and thicker. You could smell it. You could see it. 34th Street, which is the street that the Empire State Building is on, runs east to west from the Hudson River to the East River, either way, depending which way you were looking. If you stood at either end of 34th Street and looked up at the Empire State Building, you would have seen a haze. Top of the building pretty much would have been almost just a whisk of itself. I mean, you could hardly see it. And by the time we got to Philadelphia, as the train was coming in, and you see the Philadelphia skyline, you could barely see the Philadelphia skyline. It was just gray. That's how bad the smoke and the air quality was. And in Reading, where we were, It was also included in that. Its air quality was bad. There is a place in Reading called the Pagoda, which is up on Penn Mountain. It overlooks the city. It's quite high, and it overlooks the city. It's a beautiful view when you can see it. We drove up there and looked down at the city, and all we saw was a gray mass because the smoke had settled down. It was something you see in New York City. We didn't come across it, but after we left, we understand the city began handing out N95 masks because of the air quality. We were at Times Square for a little bit. We sat and relaxed in Times Square for about, half hour, 45 minutes. And it wasn't bad. It was very nice. It was comfortable. The weather was beautiful. But you could see people walking around with masks that you hadn't seen before because they'd pretty much gotten rid of the masks and the mandates were all gone. But people were donning them again because, you could smell it. It smelled, the old line was it smelled like a campfire. It's exactly what it smelled like. So anyway, and then came home and did some things around the house that I had to get done. Yesterday, went down to a Tigers game. It is the first time I'd been to a Tigers game in several years. And it's fun. It was fun because of the people I was with. I was on a bus, and it was kind of neat. A great group of people. I knew most of them and had a good time. But I have to tell you, I enjoy watching baseball. I'm a baseball fan, but I'd rather sit in my living room and watch the game. It's nice to be at the ballpark. Don't get me wrong. It's quite the atmosphere and the crowd noise and all the stuff going on till you go buy some food. Take your wallet with you. Take your credit cards because they don't take cash. But it was fun. It was a good time. And the day before that, we played in the Rescue Ministry golf outing at the Fortress. Hats off to Dan Streeter and the crew for assembling such a fabulous outing and raised $89,000 for the missions. And also hats off to Zenders. We played at the Fortress, and Zenders, of course, owns it. And they provided the buffet meal at the end, and it was chicken and roast beef and dressing and noodles and mashed potatoes and vegetables. And it was wonderful, actually. It was a fabulous, fabulous buffet meal. So that's how we spent our time. And, of course, we were gone for the 6 days. We were actually on the road into Pennsylvania. Monkey, my house sharer, my Shih Tzu dog, spent time with friends. So when we got home, I've spent a little time with Monkey and kept him company. But that's what we did. So it was all in all a good time off. It served some great purposes, and glad to be back to work, though. Here we are. All right. I've spouted off enough. So we will now do what hasn't been done for a while. Open phones for the remainder of the program right through 11 o'clock. 989-752-6111. That is the number to call. That'll put you in touch with us. Whatever's on your mind, we'd love to chat with you on this Thursday morning.
Did you know that you can get started with a solar and lithium battery package for under $10,000 if you qualify for the new federal tax credit? A solar with lithium battery package ensures you always have power to the essential appliances in your home while reducing your electric bill every day the sun shines without relying on a generator. Call SunTech Wind and Solar in Standish at 989-737-4078. SunTech Wind and Solar is locally owned and operated. Call SunTech Wind and Solar and get energy independent today. Are you tired of exposing your retirement to stock market risk? How would you like the potential to participate in credited interest from market index returns and limit the downside? Join Adam Howard for the Retirement and Income Radio Show this Saturday at noon. You can also call Adam now for your complimentary customized Safe Money and Income Radio Kit and Safe Money and Income Radio Book. 844-350-7233. That's SAFE. That's 844-350-7233 or SAFE.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Men, you fought hard for the role that you play in your children's lives. This Father's Day, Cordell & Cordell celebrates you the entire month of June. Join us every Friday for our live webinar series, Father's Fridays. There you'll receive much useful information from our panel of speakers. To register, go to CordellCordell.com/Father's Day.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Jesse Kelly here. If given the choice between financial stress or peace of mind, I will always choose peace of mind. That is why I've secured gold and silver from the Oxford Gold Group. Having precious metals in your home safe or in your 401k or IRA should be considered your investment strategy. Simply put, it's a portfolio protection plan. One app, one call, and you pick your precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals just like I do. Call 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
New claims for unemployment benefits were unchanged last week. There were 262,000 new claims, remaining at the highest level since October of 2021. Continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, rose to 1.77 million. The report is suggesting the tight labor market may be easing slightly. Retail sales rose 0.3% in May. Economists were predicting a decline. Kroger's earnings were better than expected in recent months. Sales for the recent quarter rose more than 1%, though that was weaker than forecast. The Federal Reserve paused raising interest rates yesterday, but indicated it may be raising again at future meetings to contain inflation. The European Central Bank today raised interest rates by 0.25%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
When America's debt bubble bursts, it could destroy the value of your 401k or IRA. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and this is why I recommend gold IRAs. And Birch Gold Group is the only gold IRA company I trust. Right now, you can get a free info kit on gold when you text the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to 989898 to request your no-cost, no-obligation info kit today.
Visit the Auburn Farmers Market Thursdays 2 to 6 p.m. located in Auburn Park under the pavilion at US 10 and 9 Mile Road. Fresh produce, baked goods, arts and crafts, and more. And don't forget about our monthly moonlight markets. The Auburn Farmers Market, we'd love to feed you. Open June 15th through September 28th.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL.
Ball left field, fairly deep. Rosario at the fence. He jumps up, and it's gone! Jake Rogers, 3-run home run.
The Tigers play 6:45 tonight on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, and we begin our open phone segment right up through 11 o'clock this morning with Dan, who is in Bay City. Dan, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what's your take on the price of fuel here in Bay County?
How high is it?
I mean, it seems I go to Midland. I've been going out in the Thumb area and everywhere around, like Saginaw. It's 27 cents a gallon higher here in Bay County than
Is it
anywhere else.
really?
Yeah, continually.
I don't know. I mean, normally you can attribute some of it to delivery charges, but that's a big difference. It's also big, though. like from Saginaw to Bridgeport is
Right.
is different.
Right. And I thought there was something to do with having a refinery or a distribution center here in Bay County that would make our prices cheaper.
Fuel pricing is one of the great mysteries of life. And I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah.
I truly don't.
I keep going to Midland, and I mean it's 27 cents a gallon like every week.
But I want to remind you of something. Years ago, we would sit here and have this conversation, and everybody would saying, "How come the price is the same everywhere? It's price fixing." Now we're saying, "How come it's different?" Well,
right.
I really don't know the answer. I've never been able to figure that one out.
Yeah, I just wondered if you knew anything about that.
Not a thing. Not a thing, other than to look for the cheapest I can find, just like you do.
Yeah, that's you just keep getting it out of town.
Gas buddy, here I come.
Pretty much.
All right. Thanks,
All
Dan.
right.
Have a good one.
Yep.
Take care.
You
Bye
too.
bye
Thanks,
now.
Art. Yep, bye-bye.
And we'll continue on now. Talk to Mike in Shields. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's a nice area out there. I just love Pennsylvania. I used to go out there almost every year, but not lately.
Yep.
It took me a long time, but finally I wanted to thank you for giving me the information so I could listen to the rest of that book, story.
Oh, yeah.
CBS.
Yep.
And I did hear it. They did break it into 3 pieces, so I only had to listen to the last part,
Yeah,
which was
right.
nice. But I
Right.
really appreciate that. And what do you think of this trial for Trump?
Well, I'd be honest with you. I have mixed feelings. I think initially the whole thing is political.
Well, yeah.
But having said that, Trump can be his own worst enemy.
Oh, gosh.
Doesn't know when to shut up. And, and now they got him on tape bragging about the document that he took to Bedminster and back again. And I think the former Attorney General Barr had it right. The most of those will, it's sort of I think the term is stacked indictment, if I'm not mistaken, right? But what they do is they stack as many charges as they can into an indictment, knowing most of them aren't going to hold, but all they need are 1 or 2 that does.
Sure.
And as Barr said, if even a couple of them hold, he's toast. Now, does that mean he's going to go to prison? No. Is he going to get convicted? Maybe. But I don't think he'll be doing any jail time. And what's really going to be interesting, I've been thinking about this. You remember, of course, when Gerald Ford came to office, one of the first things he did was pardon Richard Nixon.
Yes.
Is there presidential protocol where Biden would ever be seen as pardoning Trump?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't envision it, but you never know in politics,
Yeah. No,
It may be that the presidential office is more sacrosanct. I don't know. I just I just know that Trump's his own worst enemy at times, and where there's this much smoke, there's probably a little fire.
Yeah, I wish he could change his ways because
That ain't gonna happen.
no, I know, and that's the problem. And so, you almost wish that they didn't nominate him for, the candidate for president because.
Well, I suspect, there's been speculation, and I've said this for a long time, that I didn't think either Biden or Trump would be the candidates.
Yeah.
And there's still time for me to be right. But if the election were today, Trump would be the candidate because he's still got a huge base of support. No two ways about it.
Yeah, no question about that. And he, like I said, everybody liked.
It's all about the
a lot what he
policies.
did. Yeah.
It's all about the
But-
policies.
Yeah. But Biden, of course, the problem is that the press is protecting him. So, none of the stuff that he's done or.
Yeah, well, we can hash that out forever, but it doesn't change anything.
No, I know, and so he'll never.
And that's
never
why
come to a trial.
that's why you don't hear me bring it up very often. Once in a while, I'll
blame you.
mention the fact that the treatment has not been the same for Hillary and all of that stuff. But the reality is the horse is out of the barn, the door's closed. And now I suspect if Trump were to come back into office, I would bet it wouldn't take him very long to get the Justice Department to start new investigations.
He
on
mentioned
Biden
that
and
yesterday
Trump. I
on
wouldn't
one of
doubt
the
it.
shows.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it at all.
Well, that's the shame of it. What's happening to
Well,
the FBI and the Justice
Well, the
Department.
shame of it is it's what's happening to our country.
Well, like the whole country.
Because
yeah, absolutely.
because politics has become dominant rather than the issues that need to be solved in the country. We're more interested in party politics, and that's too bad. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good
enough.
talking to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye now.
And let's go down to Flushing and talk to Carol this morning. Good morning, Carol.
Hey, Arthur, it is I.
It is you.
Yeah, I'm at work actually, but I'm doing paperwork today. So sorry to hear about your wife.
Thank you.
But anyway, a while ago when my dad died, my aunt, who was my dad's sister, and my mother were talking. They were having tea or something like that. And then my mom said, this was several years ago, she says, well, when I die, just put my ashes in with your father's. And without skipping a beat, my 96-year-old auntie said, why? So you could yell at him some more? And she meant it. And my mom just recently passed away. I'm not putting her in with me. And actually, she was the queen of QVC. So when we're having her memorial service, I'm putting her in a QVC box.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because my dad's in a toolbox because he was a master builder.
Well, listen, there are ways.
Yep.
You go sit them side by side.
No, I don't think so. I'll put him on opposite ends of the room, I think.
He could build while she shops.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I was like, why? They could yell at him some more. So,
that is funny. It's very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
Arthur.
Carol, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. Sorry for your loss, too. Yep. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, Scott, hang on. We'll get to you right after these notes here on WSGW. And it's been a while since I've got to talk to you about my Ford dealer, McDonald Ford in Freeland, where I buy my cars and have for years. But maybe you've got a car laying around you'd like to get rid of, or maybe you'd like to get out from under a car that you have and put cash in your pocket. Well, you can do that now because McDonald Ford is buying cars, and they'd like to buy your vehicle. And there's a process to do it. And to find out about that process, I want you to email joe@mcdonaldford.com. joe@mcdonaldford.com, and ask him about the process for selling your car. He'll send you back instructions of the photos that you have to take and what you have to show and the VIN number and all that. And then after that, you'll receive an offer, and then you decide if that offer is satisfactory for you. If it is, payment is right then and there on the spot, and it includes all paperwork and lien release. No extra charges hidden or anything like that. Don't wait. Put cash in your pocket today. And while you're at it, tell your family and friends about it too. Maybe they've got some cars they'd like to get rid of. Again, joe@mcdonaldford.com. That's the address, joe@mcdonaldford.com. And do it now. Faster you do it, faster you get cash in your pocket. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, devoted to helping and serving you.
Warmer weather is hopefully on its way. At Associates in Eye Care, they want you to remember to wear sunglasses with UV protection. Most of us acquire 80% of our lifetime UV exposure before 18. So it's extremely important for children to have sunglasses with UV protection. Ultraviolet rays have harmful effects on the eyes that could lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. To make an appointment with Dr. Cox, Dr. Kazmarek, or Dr. Engel at their Saginaw or Hemlock locations, call 792-8686. Associates in Eye Care, caring for our patients as we would want to be treated. Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue. Frankenmuth Credit Union presents the 6th Annual Bay City Country Music Festival, Thursday, June 15th, featuring Gary LaVox, And Friday, June 16th, featuring Mitchell Tenpenny. And this year, a third show on Saturday, June 17th, featuring Nelly. Dragon Moose Credit Union has teamed up at the festival with I Support the Food Pantry for Veterans. Donate today. Get your tickets at KenSheltonPromotions.com. Also sponsored by J&B Boots USA.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Attention business owners. Stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent. Imagine owning your own building and saving thousands every year. Sound impossible? Not if you use General Steel. General Steel can help you save thousands by owning your own custom-designed building. Just call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to see how much money you can save with General Steel. Our buildings come with a 50-year warranty, and thousands of companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to startups, have trusted the General with their building needs.
If you need to expand or start a new business, you really need General Steel.
I'm very impressed with General Steel. Everyone's been extremely helpful. I'd recommend General Steel to anyone looking to build a steel building.
Stop wasting money on rent. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-74-STEEL to find out about all our popular quick construction kits, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building. Just call 888-747-8335 now. That's 888-74-STEEL.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you. One note for you. We just received Party on McCarty has been canceled for tonight, and it is on for next Thursday. Again, Party on McCarty canceled for tonight. Scott is in Saginaw. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, morning, Art. Hey, I'll make this quick. This wasn't the topic I was going to talk about, but it's with the whole Trump thing here. I find it quite amazing that they say they have a tape that somebody heard, that somebody else heard somebody say that they heard Trump say on a tape something. But what's amazing is the assistant director for the FBI was just up on Capitol Hill, and he admitted that there are 17 tapes, 15 of them of Hunter Biden, 2 of Joe Biden, receiving a bribe from the oligarch over there at Burisma in Ukraine. The FBI director also admitted that he will not release any of this material because they want to keep the whistleblowers safe. So we know that there is an investigation going on, that Joe Biden has received $5 million from Ukraine. His son received another $5 million. That's why we're going to court with Trump, because they're just trying to get us off of what's going on with this president. And it just, and it really does sicken me. And no, they're not going to get a conviction, because all they need is one person to say Trump did not do it. But
Say
the
that
reason
again?
I called, though,
Say that again?
I said all they need is one person on that jury.
Well, yeah,
is one.
that's true. If he gets a jury trial, that's true. But
Yeah, and he's in Miami. He's not in New York, so it's the chance of him.
yeah,
getting a
here's the
fair trial
problem.
are
Here's the problem, Scott. Because he took that document to Bedminster, the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, can also file charges in New Jersey. And it's going to be interesting to see if he does that.
Again, I don't really want to go on anything with Trump here, because I don't know what's true and what's false about any charge that they bring. What I did want to talk about.
Well, then
is
that's
the
also
sick
true about
display.
that's also true about Biden, isn't it?
Well, the difference is
No,
the
there's
FBI
no difference.
admitted hold on. The FBI actually admitted there are tapes. Nobody's admitting
and
this. I don't want to argue about. I don't want
And
to
there's
argue
a
about
tape
Trump.
on Trump too. So all right, so there you go.
Okay, I don't want to argue about Trump. What I want to talk about is the sick display that I've seen from this president over the weekend, when he took the gay pride flag and put it center stage, and took the American flags and pushed them to the side.
Yeah.
So to the Democrats, this is what you are supporting. You are supporting a man who is more concerned about the rights to castrate children, the right to abort children, and the rights of homosexuals than they are for the American citizen. They're not finding us jobs. He's not trying to lower our gas price. This man has not done a damn thing to secure the border. But you better believe it. If you say something negative and don't call somebody by the right pronoun, better believe they're coming after you. The state already passed a bill on this. They will be coming for us. So this is what the Democrats are doing. And one more, California is trying to pass a bill now. If people are going through a divorce, if the child identifies differently than their actual sex, and one of the parents does not identify with that, you will lose 100% of your rights to your child.
This whole thing is way out of hand. Way out of hand.
This is the Democrat Party. All right. They say, you will do what we tell you to do, or we will come after you and we will put you in jail. If that doesn't work, we're going to blow your buildings up. We're going to burn your buildings.
Now you're getting carried away. Now you're getting a little carried away.
Art, come on. Look at the pregnancy centers. Look what they're doing in Louisiana at Top City. They're putting bombs out there. They're putting little traps out there for these cops. But it's true, Art. Prove me wrong.
All right, Scott. Thanks. Appreciate the call. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. All right, 989-752-6111 is the number to call. If you missed what I said earlier, Party on McCarty tonight has been postponed. It is on for next Thursday. Thought we just mentioned that to you this morning. 9:44 here on WSGW. Lines are open for you. Love to chat with you. A number of things that I wanted to bring up and mention this morning. First of all, when was the last time I could say inflation is going in the right direction? Not fast enough, but it is moving down a little bit. It has cooled, as CPI data says that grocery prices fell and food costs eased. And a lot of times we hear about, the inflation, and we don't hear about food. We don't hear about energy prices. But apparently, inflation has slowed for the 11th straight month. It is not a surprise. I mean, with the Fed keep raising interest rates, although they held off doing it this last time, it is not surprising that inflation has come down a little bit. But rent climbing. Gas pump came down for a while, but it's back up again. And overall, consumer prices increased 4% from the year earlier. That's down from 4.9% in April. And the high of 9.1% last June. That's a 40-year high last June, according to the Labor Department's CPI, the Consumer Price Index. So keep our fingers crossed. And the question is, will the Fed keep raising rates? Well, they didn't do it this time, but they said they might do it again. But by region, in the Midwest, food costs continue to rise here in the Midwest. The West, inflation continues. In the Northeast, it slows, and utility costs eased. And in the South, plummeting gas prices offset all the other costs. So it's kind of regional. But overall, we complain about it when the number goes up. Got to acknowledge it when the number goes down. We'll be back to more calls when we return.
Hey, Saginaw, it's Mike Stoddard from Westside Decorating Center. With the weather warming up, it's the perfect time to tackle those outdoor paint projects. Whether it's your deck, shed, fence, house, or patio, we've got you covered. We have a wide range of paints and stains specifically designed for your exterior projects. Call or text us at 989-793-6182. And don't forget to visit our website at westsidedecoratingcenter.com for inspiration and expert advice. Let us be your partner in transforming your outdoor space. Get started today with Westside Decorating Center.
Brew at the Zoo, the adult-only fundraiser at the Saginaw Children's Zoo, is back. Join us for an evening of live music, beer and wine, tasty treats, and delicious food. All this and more are included in the ticket price of $50. An event you won't want to miss, Thursday, June 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. Visit SaginawZoo.com to order your tickets today.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you zoo?
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Men, you fought hard for the role that you play in your children's lives. This Father's Day, Cordell & Cordell celebrates you the entire month of June. Join us every Friday for our live webinar series, Father's Fridays. There you'll receive much useful information from our panel of speakers. To register, go to CordellCordell.com/Father's Day.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
There are more identity threats than you realize. Even if you monitor your credit, only a little personal info needs to leak out, like your social security number or password,
for you to become a victim.
LifeLock alerts you to threats you could miss. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated US-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Metashare. Maybe you've heard switching to Metashare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Metashare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Metashare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll for you involving the indictment of former President Trump. He has been indicted for illegally retaining the classified government records at his Florida estate after leaving the White House, obstruction of justice as well. He has pleaded not guilty. It's possible his attorneys may ask for the case to be dismissed. The news and opinions regarding this case off the charts, and you can expect more as this case proceeds. Our poll question for you at this moment, based on what you've heard and seen, based upon your personal opinion, do you think former President Trump is guilty or not guilty? It's your simple vote. Guilty, not guilty, or we throw in the I'm not sure. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, click on it, and make your vote that way.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, and let's get back to our phones. We'll talk to Tim in Saginaw. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Art. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back. I was hoping I might be able to get a little information from you. I have an old typewriter, a manual Smith & Corona.
Oh, wow.
I was wondering if there's anybody in the area that does reconditioning, maybe clean it, change the typewriter ribbon. I don't think it really needs any work done on it, but
I don't know, but I'll tell you what I would do if I had one and I was looking to have it done.
Yeah.
I might visit one of the antique places like the Antique Warehouse or someplace like that. See if either there's a dealer in there that knows, or if somebody in there knows who does that kind of work. I have not heard of typewriter repair in years. I'll bet there is still somebody out there that does it, but I have no idea who. So that's where I'd start.
Okay, Art, that's a real good idea. I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Tim. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And we'll talk to Carl in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. I'd like to get back to Trump for a minute. As far as that call you had a few minutes ago about the recordings of Trump and the recordings of Biden, what the FBI has, is a recording of an informant who is making allegations about Biden. It's not Biden's voice. Whereas in the case of Trump, it's a recording of Donald Trump, saying,
if I'm not mistaken, yes, you're right about Trump. That's a recording of him. But if I'm not mistaken, the FBI is a whistleblower who says they have 17 or something like that recordings. Not the informant, but he's a whistleblower who is inside the FBI. And we don't know what they are because we haven't heard them.
Yes, but this is the whistleblower's voice, not Biden's voice.
Well, we don't know who's on those tapes. The whistleblower says the FBI has them. He didn't say what was on them.
Well, my understanding is it's tapes of the whistleblower making allegations.
Well, all right. I don't
So
know.
it's a whole.
I haven't heard him.
It's a whole different.
Haven't heard Trump's
Okay,
either, so I
well,
don't know.
Okay. Well, like you mentioned William Barr, he said if even half of what is
Right.
being alleged is true,
He's
then
toast.
Trump is toast.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see, with this Judge Cannon, who is going to preside over the case, how she's going to handle it. I also heard something interesting. I heard that something like 95% of these type of cases get a plea deal. They don't go to trial.
Yeah, I don't
And-
think this one. I can't see Trump doing that.
Well,
I can't see that. I
Well-
would be. Listen, here's why. Not only don't I see Trump doing that and his attorneys, but he's using it as campaign fodder. I mean, it's to his advantage from a political standpoint to use it as campaign fodder. He can raise a lot of money on it, and he has been. Why would he give it up?
play the victim.
And play the victim, whatever. Well, however, doesn't matter. I just don't see that happening. And further, if it's political as people say it is, some people say it is, I don't know if they'd offer him a plea deal, because if it's political, they want to keep it in the news.
Well,
now the question
I
is,
don't
will
know.
there be a speedy trial? And Smith has said he wanted it to come before the court quickly. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, but Trump has a history of always trying to delay.
Well, so does
anytime
every
he's-
other person convicted, or accused, I should say, not convicted.
Yeah, but I
that's
wonder in
that's
this
legal
case-
tactics in this country.
Yeah, but in this case, Art, when you have like an indictment hanging over your head, wouldn't you want to clear your name? It
I
seems
don't
to
know.
me you would want.
Depends if you're using it for political fodder or not.
Well, I guess.
Does Trump have the exact same rights you have if you were indicted?
Apparently, he has more.
Does he have the same rights you have?
Yes, he does.
And so if he wants to delay it, his attorneys can certainly do that. If he wants
Yeah,
to
he-
accept
he
a
can-
plea,
he-
his attorneys can certainly do that.
Yeah, he can try to delay, but I think.
Well, I think
you
he'd be
know,
more than try, because it's very successful. Attorneys have all kinds of ways of delaying things.
Yeah, well, we're going to see.
Yeah, we
how
will.
successful he is at that.
All right,
And
time will
like-
tell.
And and this is not the only case that's coming, and Georgia is still coming.
Well, we don't know what's
and
going to happen there. It could be coming, not is coming.
Well,
could be coming.
It's looking.
You
more
don't
and more
know.
likely.
You don't know any more about that than anybody else, Carl,
They-
because you're
they've
not inside
cleared-
that grand jury.
They've cleared the court docket for the first 2 weeks in August.
So what?
And well, they don't do that for no reason at all.
Well, time will tell.
Okay.
I'm not ready to convict or prosecute anyone
I
who hasn't
didn't-
been charged.
I didn't say convict. I said there's more
Or
there's more
prosecute.
charges coming.
Maybe. Add a maybe, and I'll
Well-
agree with you. You don't know that. You assume
Well,
it,
I-
but
no,
you
I
don't know it.
I don't know it. Well, you don't know that Trump is going to delay.
I
You
don't.
assume
You're
that-
absolutely right.
You assume that Trump is going to delay.
Yeah.
But
I
we
don't know it,
We
though.
don't know any
No,
of
we don't. So why are we talking about it?
Well,
think about that.
Well,
all right.
Then, okay.
I got to run.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye now. Typewriter repair. There is a place in Mesa, Arizona. It's a typewriter repair shop. You ship your typewriter to them. They've been in business 50 years. I'll give you the phone number. This is for Tim, who called earlier. 480-964-3603. 480-964-3603. Back to close out this hour after these notes.
Kick off summer with this free community event. YMCA of Saginaw Concert for a Cause Festival. Thursday, June 15th and Friday, June 16th. Join musicians The Shakedown, Bob Seger Tribute Band, and Stone Street Revival. There will be bounce houses, STEM Zone, Food Truck Alley, cornhole tournaments, and more. Bring your lawn chair, dancing shoes, and don't forget your friends. Daily activities start at 4 p.m. with the concerts at 5:30, all in the Y Courtyard overlooking the Saginaw River. The YMCA of Saginaw, strengthening your community for 154 years.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. These are tough times for everyone, so dealing with your timeshare may not be your biggest concern. But when this passes, do you still want a lifetime of payments, fees, and commitments for a timeshare you were misled into buying?
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshares and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. Give my office a call today. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley Financial now for your free information kit. 800-296-6868. That's 800-296-6868. 800-296-6868.
All right, that's going to do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll have another open phone hour for you right after the 10 o'clock news. That comes up from CBS and the local report with Michael Purchin, the WSGW newsroom. I'm Art Lewis. We'll be back to chat more with you right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin with mixed signs on the economy. First, retail sales, which were up 0.3% last month, despite inflation and higher interest rates. Bankrate's Mark Hamrick.
Among categories, sales of vehicles up 1.4%, department stores are up 0.3%, and general merchandise up 0.4% in May.
The number of people who signed up for first-time unemployment benefits over the past 2 weeks is at its highest level since October of 2021. The Supreme Court could weigh in with decisions in several high-profile cases shortly. One of them involves affirmative action in education. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
The case comes down to whether the use of racial preferences can continue to be used as a factor in college admissions, even if it discriminates against other students with higher test scores who should also be protected under the Civil Rights Act.
At least a dozen tornadoes have knocked down trees and damaged buildings across the southeast. Glenda Williams' granddaughter was alone when a tree fell on the family's mobile home in Lexington, Mississippi.
She had just walked out the room. She was on the phone with one of our friends, and she was just screaming. She said she was finna lay down, so thank God she didn't lay down because it went right across her bed.
More than 160,000 customers still have no power. Parts of Texas and Florida could get record-breaking heat today. Officials in Ukraine say fighting is fierce in its counteroffensive against Russia. CBS's Ian Lee met with members of one unit returning from battle.
They move into position under the cover of darkness. Night vision gives these Ukrainian soldiers the edge against the Russians. Morning brings the command, attack. This soldier, call sign Blacksmith, led the first assault. It took us 2 days to push nearly 3 miles, he tells me. The Russians were dug in and heavily fortified, but intense artillery fire forced them to flee.
From our health file, doctors may be taking less stock in body mass index. The American Medical Association is advising medical professionals to pay less attention to patients' BMI when they calculate healthy weights. The AMA says other factors like body composition, belly fat, waist circumference, and genetics are just as important. The All-Muslim City Council in Hamtramck, Michigan has banned LGBTQ plus flags from publicly owned flag poles. Lawmakers say it's about respecting religious rights. Darren Shelton, who runs the local theater, sees it differently.
In my opinion, it is the city council's nuclear option to make sure that this flag cannot be hung up on government property.
This is CBS News.
Need hires who dazzle without the hassle? You need Indeed. Their powerful platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Retirement is more than a newly discovered free time. It's a time to reflect on how you'll be remembered and your legacy. It's important to make proper arrangements now. Tune in to WSGW every Sunday at 8 a.m. to your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment Advisors in Midland. Learn how to structure your retirement savings to increase the value of your estate and help leave the legacy you want. Plus, call Great Lakes Investment Advisors today, and they will include a complimentary Legacy Maximizer at 989-835-7203. That's 989-835-7203. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 59 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Birchup. Bay City fire officials are investigating a fire that damaged a home yesterday. Crews were called to the 1000 block of South Arbor Street around 7:30 p.m. to put out the fire in the single-story structure. Officials say a family of 5 were able to evacuate safely. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire and the amount of damage are currently unknown. Officials blocked off 3 surrounding streets while firefighters battled the flames. A Saginaw County crash yesterday afternoon injured 4 young people. Police say a pickup truck was driving south on Guerra Road in Birch Run Township around 1:10 p.m. and attempted to pass a line of vehicles backed up behind an agricultural equipment. However, police say the truck didn't have enough time to pass and swerved to avoid oncoming traffic, the driver losing control and going airborne before hitting a tree and coming to rest in a yard. Police say the driver wasn't hurt, but 4 juvenile passengers were injured, one suffering potentially life-threatening injuries. The 4 young people were taken to Hurley Medical Center in Flint for treatment. Their conditions are unknown at this time. Tuscola County Sheriff Glenn Scrent held a meeting with the public yesterday to discuss the need for a new jail. Held at Bullard Sanford Memorial Library in Vassar, Scrent says the current 60-year-old jail simply has too many problems that cannot be worked around. Some of the issues include a lack of observation and holding cells, a lack of fire suppression, leaky pipes and water damage, mold, mildew, and others. A proposed millage to fund a new $44 million facility was defeated by voters last November, with 54% voting no to the new jail. However, Scrent says there are no other options, and the county will likely face lawsuits for how inmates are currently housed together. The new proposal is scheduled for the August 8th election with a 0.98 millage on the ballot. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Hello, I'm Shep.
And I'm Mark.
We're the friendly board certified entomologists from Rose Pest Solutions.
Let's tackle some spider myths.
I've got one. Spiders will sneak up and bite you at night.
That's a myth. Spiders are not interested in having you as a midnight snack. Okay, I've got one. You swallow spiders while you're sleeping.
Myth. What spider would enter the snore hole of death? But here's a fact. Spiders can be hard to control.
So call the pros from Rose.
Call Rose Pest Solutions today.
800-966-ROSE.
Now over to Christine, reporting live with the weather.
Well, Ted, yesterday's sunshine is now a torrential downpour. And with so many farmers harvesting, this really is a disaster. Except for Bob here.
Hello.
Bob, you use Sharpen herbicide from BASF as a harvest aid.
Yep.
With premium desiccation and control over late season weeds, it's harvest time when you say it is.
Sharpen herbicide works. Always read and follow label directions.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Law enforcement agencies around the state will be stepping up speed enforcement starting this weekend. Authorities say since the pandemic, the state has seen an alarming increase in speeding and fatal crashes, with 237 speed-related fatalities in the state in 2021 and a 15% increase in the number of traffic crashes from 2020 to 2021. According to the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning, the increased enforcement aims to change drivers' risky behaviors during the summer travel season. The enforcement period starts Saturday and runs through June 25th. A shortage of two critical chemotherapy medications continues to impact cancer patients across Michigan and the country, leaving healthcare providers concerned. Michigan News Network's John Hewitt has this report.
The medications in question, cisplatin and carboplatin, are both used to treat several types of cancers, including bladder, lung, ovarian, and testicular cancers. Laura Oppel, Executive Vice President of the Michigan Health and Hospital Association, says shortages of both medications began as far back as February.
There are 5 manufacturers of these drugs total. The manufacturer that dropped out, known as Accord, the gap that they left, the other 4 manufacturers of these drugs were not able to fill the supply gap.
Oppel suggests patients meet with their healthcare provider to discuss other potential medication treatment options or if they could be a candidate for adjusted chemotherapy regimens. John Hewitt, Michigan News Network.
Gray wolves are thriving at Isle Royale National Park 5 years after they nearly died out. Authorities airlifted 19 mainland wolves to Lake Superior Park to rebuild the population that had fallen to just 2, mostly because of inbreeding. A report by scientists at Michigan Technological University in Houghton says the population has reached 31. Wolves continue preying on moose, but moose are still overpopulated and struggling to find food. Some argue against human intervention in the wilderness areas such as Isle Royale, but others say a good balance of wolves and moose are needed there to keep the forest healthy. WSGW News Time 10:10. I'm Mike Percha. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Thursday sees a cold front moving through with scattered rain showers and then some thunderstorms into the mix during the afternoon. These thunderstorms could bring some small hail around 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch in diameter. Temperatures for today are also going to be into the lower to middle 60s up north, but still closer to 70 for an hour or two this afternoon if you're in Flint. And our rain totals today, generally expecting 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch, though 1/2 of an inch is easily attainable directly under one of the storms. For tonight, we'll have a low of 53 degrees. Those showers coming to an end. Friday, 76, mostly sunny with a north-northeast wind gusting to 20. Friday night has a low of 50. Then Saturday, we see 80 with sunny skies. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Currently 61 degrees under cloudy skies here at WSGW.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show, brought to you, as you heard, by Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Stop and visit them for all of your home decorating needs. Westside Decorating Center. I want to, first of all, tell you it's open phones for the remainder of the hour, 989-752-6111. And a number of things to bring up. One of them, the Republicans in the House, particularly on the conservative side, are proposing revivals or restructuring. Let me say restructuring of Social Security. The headline, Social Security benefits targeted for cuts by House conservatives. I think I would rather use the term restructuring, because if something isn't done to Social Security, as we've heard many, many times, it's going to eventually lead to cuts. Estimates are that if something doesn't happen in the way we treat Social Security, cuts in the future could be as deep as 23%. And nobody wants to see that happen. And could be an 11% cut to Medicare provider payments if nothing is done. So what the conservatives in the House are proposing may sound familiar to you, because I've been preaching it for years. The proposal by the House Republican Study Committee, and there's 176 members of that, would increase the retirement age to 69 years old for those turning 62 in 2033. Current retirement age for full benefits is 66 and rising gradually to 67. I have said forever that because of the change in the actuarial tables, how long we live, something has to be done. And the way to do it is to increase the retirement age, how old you have to be able to claim Social Security. I said 70. They're saying 69 by 2033 for those that are 62 at that time. They apparently, though, have not planned on changing the age that Medicare becomes a benefit for you, which of course is 65. But I sort of like the idea of raising the age to 69 and avoiding cuts. And as I said, and as I have said for years, even if something were to come along that forces Congress or the Republicans or the Democrats, for that matter, to change Social Security benefits, it would not impact those who are currently receiving those benefits. The reason I said that was because it's a large voting block. And in reading this story about the plan, it would have no impact on anyone collecting Social Security today. So, I mean, that kind of says it all. They're not going to mess with the senior population that votes, but the population coming down the road 10 years from now might find that their retirement age is going to be stretched to 69. From where I sit, that makes perfect sense. Now, it's easy for me to say because at 80 years old, I'm not going to be around to see many of those changes. I mean, I hope I am to see some of them, but the reality is it's not going to impact me or any of you who are collecting Social Security today. It will impact future generations. And that's where the impact has to be, because it's unsustainable, because it won't be there for the future generations if something isn't done. And, you know, the politicians in Washington can pretend that they're never going to cut it and nothing's ever going to happen. The reality is there is a finite line. Something has to be done, or it will not be sustainable. At some point in time, they're also going to have to face Medicare and come up with a plan for Medicare, other than simply keep cutting providers' payments, because eventually you reach the point where there aren't going to be any providers that want to take it. So, there's got to be middle ground here somewhere. All right. Phones are locked and loaded, so let's get to them. We have Jim in Cotchville to start us out here in this hour. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lewis. Are you still singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"?
Take me. Oh,
you guessed where I was yesterday.
I can guess where you were, Jim. Let me tell the story. My buddy Gary, who put together the trip yesterday, somehow suckered me into singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" on the bus and leading the whole bus in singing it. Promised I wouldn't do it on the radio, but here's Jim calling, and I can imagine what Jim wants me to do.
I know. I think you said you could not do that. I don't know. I could ask you, but
Yeah,
you did a very good job, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very good job. You pat yourself on the back on that. A couple little things. I'm not sure if this person works on typewriters, but there's a place in Midland right by the True Value Hardware downtown called Mr. Mustache. And he does cell phone repairs, and he's got antique typewriters all over the place in there.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah. No, he's got old computers, antique typewriters. He actually wears a bowler cap and has like a curled mustache for his name.
No kidding. And
Yeah.
you say this is right next to the Midland Ace Hardware?
Yeah, right. It's in that same block area.
In that same block. Mr. Mustache in Midland.
Right.
All right. Well, there's something to look at.
He's a unique person, and like I said, if he's
Have to be in that business.
yeah, especially with cell phone repair and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but typewriters all over, huh? Well, I would guess if he's got them, he probably fixes them, or maybe knows somebody who does.
And the other thing I noticed when we went to the ballpark, I don't know if you had heard on the news just before that, Detroit passed an ordinance that stores have to accept cash.
Yes, and the ballparks are included.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they passed the ordinance or if it was proposed.
No, it was passed. Supposed to be going 60 days into effect.
Really? Well, they'll have to change their tune unless they get an exemption.
If anybody get exemption, they can. But I mean,
See how much noise they make about it.
Oh my gosh, the unbelievable cost of stuff. I didn't drink a beer. I wanted one, but I'm going, do I want $13, $11.99 for a can of beer or whatever, a draft? Yeah, it's not exactly a family event when it comes to cost.
No, that's for sure. Well, I mentioned earlier, I had a slice of pizza and a frozen Pepsi for 15 something, and I'm going, whoa.
Oh yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like I said, I walked by the place going, I got to go to have a ballpark. I got to have a beer. I'm going, no, I don't.
All right, Jim.
Anyway, by the way, thanks for the trip. Thanks for your singing. You did a great job.
That's quite all right. Thank you very much.
I'm not requesting you to sing, but
Good.
Thank you. Have a great one. Goodbye.
Bye now. All right, we'll take a break here. Come back. We'll get to Sue and Russ when we return here on WSGW. And we talk about your sleep because, in this day and age, you go to bed, theoretically, you spend a third of your life in bed. You need quality sleep, and you can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent, and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And by the way, they feature a 1-hour delivery window of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you. Can the box stores do that? I don't think so. Visit the Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport, or visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. By the way, we were talking about inflation earlier and how it's cooled a little bit, and I got a call from a friend who said she was at a store locally buying a can of beans, normally 50 cents. It was now 64 cents, and her ground burger went from $2.67 to $4.67 or $2.27 to $4.27, something like that. So she said, phooey, on the fact that inflation has cooled.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Save time and fuel by taking Liberty to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge, brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. Tolling begins soon. For your passport to the lowest rates, create your account online today at BayCityBridgePartners.com or visit the Bay City Bridge Partners Customer Service Center at 300 Center Avenue in downtown Bay City.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened flat and turned mixed after fresh updates on the economy. The number of new claims for unemployment benefits was unchanged last week at 262,000, remaining at the highest level in more than a year and a half, but still within the range of a healthy job market. Retail sales rose 0.3% in May. Economists were predicting a decline. Factory output declined last month, but two regional gauges of manufacturing sentiment for the Philly Fed and New York Fed are showing signs of improvement. Target is raising its dividend by nearly 2% effective in September. Target shares opened up 2%. And restaurant chain Cava is going public today, launching its shares on the New York Stock Exchange. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts commercial.
At SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe.
Visit the Auburn Farmers Market Thursdays 2 to 6 p.m. located in Auburn Park under the pavilion at US 10 and 9 Mile Road. Fresh produce, baked goods, arts and crafts, and more. And don't forget about our monthly moonlight markets. The Auburn Farmers Market, we'd love to feed you. Open June 15th through September 28th.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The story we have concerning the Rolling Stones is the announcement of a new limited edition Start Me Up Keurig coffee kit for just $139.99. Only 400 of these specialty coffee makers have been made. Each comes also with a special Spotify playlist handpicked by the Rolling Stones, so you can listen to their music while you drink out of their coffee machine. Would it be rude for me to suggest that, considering the advanced maturity of the Rolling Stones, that perhaps a Geritol or maybe a prune juicer would have been more appropriate to attach?
The Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. And we go to Hemlock because that's where Sue is this morning. Sue, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
We're doing well, thanks.
Good. You know, have people forgot the old adage, two wrongs never made a right? Donald Trump was wrong. Biden may be wrong. I don't know. But since when and because Biden's was worse than Trump's and Trump should be forgiven. I mean, it's like if you go in and rob the store of $100 and I do $50, then mine doesn't count because you stole more money than I did.
Well, you understand, though, that from a political standpoint, what the Republicans are saying is that Trump is not being treated equally, that they didn't treat Clinton and Biden the same way. That's the argument. That's the basis.
They were all wrong. So
maybe they were, maybe they won't. I don't know. But if they were, you're right. Two wrongs don't make a right. But in politics, it has nothing to do with that, does it?
Yeah. It's just this whole political thing, I agree with you. They need a common sense party.
Amen.
You know.
All right, there we go.
Okay, that's That's,
you want to run for president? I'll be your vice president.
Okay, but I'm a little older than you, so I probably wouldn't make the ballot.
Neither of us would probably make the ballot, but that's beside the point. All right.
But I just thought I'd bring that, because one person they're both wrong. So neither one of them should get off.
I agree fully.
And the other thing,
assuming they are convicted that they're both wrong. Yes.
Right. Assuming the other thing is those papers Donald Trump said they're his. No, they're not. The information contained may be his. It's like if you go to the doctor's office and this was back when they had paper charts. If you wanted your chart, you did not get the actual chart. You could have a copy of the chart.
Yeah, right.
But the chart belonged to the doctor.
Yeah.
So these papers belong to the federal government.
They belong to us.
Yes. They're not Donald Trump's personal possessions.
Absolutely.
So,
but that's true for the rest of them. It did the same thing.
Yes,
so.
right.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, Sue. Appreciate it. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. And we'll talk to Russ in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Art. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, what I called about was there was two things in the news this week from Michigan's courts that just should be appalling to all of us. In the same week, we had a Catholic priest who was given a plea bargain where most of the major crimes were dismissed, and he gets 1 year in jail and 5 years probation, and he pled guilty to raping a 5-year-old boy. That was one case. And I'm like, really? 1 year in jail, 5 years probation for the rape? And we know he did more, but those were all dismissed.
How old is he, out of curiosity?
Yeah, I think he's in his 80s.
That's why.
I mean, that's immaterial. I mean,
No, it's material when it comes to sentencing.
Okay. Why? Because older people should be given a break?
When you get up in that age, they don't figure you're going to live very long anyway.
Then we should let anyone over, 75 out of prison?
No, you're picking numbers out of the air now.
I know.
It's individual, and each one is judged individually.
The other case is a man, I believe, down near Detroit, tortured a dog, and he's getting 15 years.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Okay, let's compare the two.
How old is he?
I don't support animal cruelty whatsoever.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Harming a dog gets you 15 years.
Yeah.
Raping a child should put you in prison for the rest of your life. I don't care how old you are.
Okay, fair enough.
And one last thing too. I don't know if they're still there, but there used to be a typewriter repair place on Center by State.
In Saginaw?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're there anymore.
It was like dictating machines.
Yeah, I don't think they're there anymore. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know exactly where you're talking about, though.
There.
I don't know if they do repairs anymore. Let's put it that way. But that's.
Remember, I picked up an old Smith Corona portable in a rummage sale one time, and I had them clean it up for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
Maybe
worked beautifully.
Be worth checking to see if they're still there. Then.
Yeah. But
All right.
Like I said, I just thought I'd throw that out there. That's
Good
closer
enough.
than anything I've also heard so far.
Good enough. Thanks.
But, all right. You have a great day.
Take care, Russ. Bye-bye now.
You too.
Mark is in Mount Pleasant. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Great.
Hey, on these, we'll hit the Trump documents. I don't see why there's even a case. You can thank the Clintons. And when I say Clintons, you got Hillary Clinton, who busted up BlackBerries and destroyed emails. But the main reason is on the Clintons. Bill Clinton had a case called the sock drawer where he had videotapes and stuff. In that ruling, it was ruled that when a president leaves, any documents, tapes are deemed declassified. I don't understand what we're doing. If that was the set standard, why are we even doing this case?
I'm not sure that's a set standard. I'm not sure it's a legal standard. I guess that's why. Because if that were the standard, and if that were ensconced in law, there wouldn't be a case. But I doubt very much if that's the case. I doubt very much if that's true.
All right. Well,
because then any president can do what? Take all the nuclear secrets with him, and then all of a sudden they become declassified. I don't think so.
Well, then the judge was wrong in saying that, in as far as
I
making
don't know.
that ruling.
I don't know.
Hey, my next quick topic is: how come we can't get the FBI to move out to Idaho, where they're not involved in politics? It just seems like every election something comes up where the FBI, CIA is involved. They don't need to be in Washington. I think they need to be in Ohio doing good work out there. What are your thoughts?
No. You know,
why?
Well, first
You
of
think
all,
they
we
should
say
be
the
in government?
FBI. First of all, we talk about a few upper echelon people in the FBI. We're not talking about the thousands of field agents who are out there and protect you and me every day and put their lives on the line.
I'm not asking for them to move, though.
Well,
I'm asking for the
so what's the
Washington,
difference?
D.C., the upper echelon.
So in this day and age of communications capability, that's going to make some difference? How?
You won't be in the White House.
Sure you will.
patterning
You ever
people's
hear
ears.
airplanes?
Well, I understand there's airplanes, emails, and all that good stuff.
And
But I'm
Zoom and you
saying
name it. You
on
wouldn't change
on
a
a
thing.
daily basis.
You wouldn't
Wouldn't
change
change
a
a thing.
thing. Wouldn't change a thing. You could put them in Hawaii and it wouldn't change a thing.
What if we moved the White House to the center of the country and left the FBI, CIA there? Would it
So
change
what?
anything?
What changes? Communication doesn't
The
change.
collaboration,
The
the
ability to
daily
fly doesn't
collaboration.
change. Nothing changes. And pretty soon you move the White House to the center of the universe. Pretty soon everybody else will move to the center of the universe to be near the White House.
Well, you won't have all that money floating around for.
No, you'll have it
short
float
time.
someplace else. So you'll have it floating in the Midwest instead of Washington. What's the difference?
Building up, creating jobs.
You know
Creating
better
jobs.
than that. All right.
All right.
Good enough, Mark. Thanks. Bye-bye now. All right, let's talk to Jeff is in Bay City. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you this
I'm
fine
well,
day?
thank you.
A lot of craziness in our society today.
That's for sure.
You know, with Trump and Biden and all the nonsense that's going on in the universe, we have Trump was the actual president. He took papers just like other presidents did. You know, Carl mentioned earlier, oh, it's this or it's that, and I think it's this. And, you know, I've heard a report and I've read this. What we know is the FBI has paperwork. They denied they had it. Then it was proven they had it. And then they still deny wanting to let it go. And the craziest part everybody should be worried about is they didn't want to release it because they're in fear for the person's life who is the whistleblower. That's what they said was that to Josh Hawley the other day. Now let's think about that. Why, if this stuff isn't true, why would we have to worry about that guy's life?
I don't know. Besides the point, you can simply redact his name.
Right, exactly. And the fact that he said, well, we're in fear of his life. For what? Now you believe the president, our president of the United States, Joe Biden, and his crackhead son are going to kill this guy? That maybe all
Well,
these
they're not talking
Democrats
about. They're
should
not
wake
talking
up and
about
pay
the
attention to
Bidens
that.
killing him. Come on now.
Right.
You know what they're
That's
talking
what he
about.
said. We're in fear of this guy's life.
Right, but they didn't say Biden was going to kill him or the crackhead was
No.
going to kill him.
No, but it says that the information that they continue to refuse to release to the committee is us. They're working for us.
Yep.
We want to know what is this?
That
You
part,
got
absolutely.
17 copies. You got 17 copies of recordings, and Carl's like, "Oh, but Biden's name's not in there." They said they have 2 copies of Biden talking to this guy.
Yeah. I'd say redact the name of the whistleblower and release the
and that's-
information.
Exactly. We deserve that.
Yeah.
To stop this nonsense, but this is the corruption. Hey, let's not focus on this, but we're going to tell all these people all this stuff about Trump. Trump was the president, and it says he has the right as the president to make this stuff.
Yeah, but he
Or
also admitted,
one
apparently
way
in
or
this
another
audio
way.
tape, he admitted that he did not declassify this one document and he was spreading it around.
At that
Time will tell. Let's put it that
time
way.
will tell.
All right.
Yep.
Good
But-
enough, Jeff. Thanks.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Quick break. We'll be back. We'll get to Andy and Gene when we return here on WSGW.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks, and how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
More of our personal information is online than ever before, which means the internet can be an all-you-can-eat buffet for identity thieves.
Ugh, I'm so full. Same. Did you sample the passports? So good. I love how they come with names and birth dates. Right? And that tray of social security numbers. Never got around to it. I filled up on logins and passwords. Oh yeah, those are hard to resist.
LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could easily miss by monitoring your credit and bank statements alone. If your identity is stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
All right, going back in. Thought you were full. Yeah, but I saw some driver's licenses on the dessert table. Ooh, grab me a maiden name while you're up.
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year at LifeLock.com with promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS for 25% off. LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
News coverage.
The Senate has passed a bill to raise the debt ceiling.
Because we persisted, we will not be defaulted.
Fighter jets scrambled to intercept a small plane that entered restricted airspace in Washington, D.C.
News.
A 10-year-old boy was taken into custody after he stole a vehicle from Buena Vista Township.
A wildfire has been burning in northern Michigan.
We used the state police helicopters.
A Saginaw teen was hospitalized after a shooting Sunday afternoon.
News coverage on WSGW. Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
Hey, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, and we'll get back to our phones here. Andy is in Midland. Andy, good morning. You're on the air with us.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Hope things are going well with you.
So far, so good.
I'll keep this just short. I think I got hooked listening to you back in the mid to late 70s. My dad listened to you.
Yeah.
And got me. And all I can say is, when you're gone, the Art Lewis Show just isn't the same. Not taking nothing away from the other ones that fill in for you, but just to hear your voice.
I appreciate
it's like home. It's like home.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, but my daddy brought me up with a set of rules, and one of them was everyone is replaceable.
Well,
and I live by that.
But it's just the voice.
Well, I appreciate it. I do.
The voice. So
Thank
just have a good day.
You too, Andy. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Gene in Bay City. Gene, good morning to you.
Hi, I have to agree with that fella.
Oh, thank you.
You just have a unique personality, and we really miss you when you're gone.
Well, I appreciate it, Gene.
Even though I'm a Democrat, listening to Trump talk, he has so much charm and charisma. He has that unique ability of understanding what people want to hear and being able to talk and spin things. And myself, listening to him, he had me almost convinced that this is no big deal, having all those classified papers. But then you stop and think.
Yeah.
He has housekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
They have gardeners. They have janitors. One person would get a hold of some of those papers. Those papers are worth millions and millions of dollars to China or to Russia or North Korea. And how dangerous that is. How tempting that would be if you were a housekeeper and you got a hold of some of those papers.
Gene, I want to go back to something you said though, because I think it's important. You talked about his charisma and his ability to understand what people want to hear and things of that nature. And my problem with that? My problem is that, unfortunately, I think that's how a lot of the country votes. They don't vote on the principles and what's going to be good for the country. They vote on the way the messenger delivers the message. And sometimes I think that's an error. I think we ought to get beyond personality and get more into the policy, if you will.
Well, when I was a teenager, both of my grandmothers were German descent. And watching documentaries of Hitler, because that my family was very, very religious, and I as a teenager I thought, how in the world did the German people follow that evil person?
Point well taken.
And he stood there and promised he would never let Germany get into another war. And the whole time he was planning on conquering the world.
That's what I mean by following personality rather than principle. And that's an example.
We're making a big mistake not to be teaching more of that history.
I agree.
Any young person that would watch these documentaries of how Hitler played the crowd.
Yep.
These young people are so naive.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for listening.
I'm glad you called.
God bless
as always. Same to you, Gene. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye
now. Gene in Bay City. And Bob and Joe, hang on. We'll get to you right after these notes.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
The early worm catches the bird.
Wait, what?
A doctor a day keeps the apples away.
See, some things don't make sense backwards, but the daily 3 and 4 straight back bonus from the Michigan Lottery does. Just play your usual straight bet. If you match an exact order, you win the top prize. If you match in reverse, you win up to $1,000.
It's as easy as 3, 2, 1.
That doubles your chances of winning, but only for a limited time. The daily 3 and 4 straight back bonus is on now.
Only from the Lottery Michigan.
That's Michigan Oh, I get it.
Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Sizzling summer savings are happening now at Ashley. Get ready to save on the hottest furniture styles for every room in your home. Upgrade your living room with a new sectional. Create a restful retreat with a new bed. Or elevate your dining room with a new dining set. And to make these sizzling savings even hotter, we offer flexible payment options for every budget. Score savings that are almost too hot to handle. Visit your local Ashley store or ashley.com to shop and save today.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSGW online poll for you involving the indictment of former President Trump. He has been indicted for illegally retaining the classified government records at his Florida estate after leaving the White House, obstruction of justice as well. He has pleaded not guilty. It's possible his attorneys may ask for the case to be dismissed. The news and opinions regarding this case off the charts, and you can expect more as this case proceeds. Our poll question for you at this moment, based on what you've heard and seen, based upon your personal opinion, do you think former President Trump is guilty or not guilty? That's your simple vote. Guilty, not guilty, or we throw in the I'm not sure. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, click on it, and make your vote that way.
Your Morning Team, 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones. Bob is in Ridgeville. Bob, where is Ridgeville?
Well, it's right close to Reese.
Oh, okay. I was not familiar with it.
Yeah. Big thing, Art. The fruit of the leader. When President Trump took office, we had gone through 8 years of economic stagnation, and our leader told us that those jobs are never coming back. You know, we saw company after company move their business overseas, out of the country. President Trump is a leader. He's not a politician. Okay. And the other thing, in Iraq, we kept hearing every few days, of a bombing here and people getting killed, so here and there, soldiers being killed and wounded. Afghanistan, the same thing. He come in and he put ISIS out of business like in less than 4 weeks or a month or 2 months. I don't know how long it was, but it was a very short time. He put those guys out of business. Same thing in Afghanistan. We were losing soldiers here and there all along. He finally figured out how to stop it, and he did it. We went for 18 months without losing an American soldier. When Joe Biden got in, he had the same armament in that country as Donald Trump did, but he let the Taliban take provincial capital after capital, and he had $80 billion worth of military hardware on the ground and told and made our troops stand down. Then he sent 5,000 more troops in to rescue the troops that were in that he let get surrounded. Then they had people watching what was going on. Did you hear the testimony from in the Congress? One of the fellows that was there that was wounded. Well, Art, let me finish. They saw those guys that were armed with those bombs. They could have taken them out before our 13 got killed.
All right.
And they wouldn't let them, Art.
All right, Bob, here's the thing, Bob.
Poor management. Poor
all right.
leadership.
So here's the thing.
Art.
Here's the thing, Bob. Come next election, vote for somebody else. Don't vote for him, right?
I didn't vote for him this time.
Well, that's good. Well, there you are. But a lot of people did. So the next time around, convince people to change.
No, Art. A lot of people didn't vote for Joe Biden. Not as many as they claim.
Well, I don't know where you get that from.
Obama got 3 million less votes. 3 million less.
We're not going to debate that one because that horse is out of the barn, doors closed, and you're not putting it back. That's the way it is.
The truth is still the truth, Art.
Well, as you see it.
And people who want to hear it and who love the truth will continue to speak it.
All right. Good enough. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Art.
Appreciate it. And Joe is in Saginaw. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Glad you're back and
safely
home and so forth. Just a couple points. I think the business of letting elderly prisoners out of prison, I've talked to some people in the prison business, and basically they'd like to unload some of these people so they don't have to be responsible for the medical care of them because it takes a big chunk of their budget. And, that budget is better spent on rehabilitating some of the younger people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one thing. So anyhow, I just thought I'd throw that notion.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think that we really have to get to work on our education system. I mean, here in Michigan, our education system has really somewhat gone to pot, and I think we really need to, do some work on improving our system of education. And I don't know if it's increased funding or whatever, but
I think, I'll tell you what my interpretation is, and see what you think, Joe. We got to get back to the basics: reading, writing, arithmetic.
I agree.
We've got to teach how the government works. We've got to teach our history so we don't make the same mistakes in the future. I just
do civics and history.
Yeah,
and,
this notion of trying to whitewash history and change it, is nonsense. Because if you don't learn from history, you're subject to make the same mistakes again.
Well, all kinds of little pressure groups. They get online, and of course, I think the internet is probably our best propaganda tool that we've ever invented.
Best and worst.
And worst, yes. But I agree. I think we need to have, kids nowadays can't write. We don't do enough with literature and English language writing, and so forth. But I think that's what we really need to start concentrating on, improving our education system.
Good enough, friend. Have a good one, Joe.
For today.
Thanks.
You
Take
too.
care. Bye-bye now.
now.
All right. Well, listen, that wraps it up for today. Glad to be back with you. Glad. I love these open sessions because I never know what's going to happen. One note, the question earlier about the typewriter repair. We'll go back and end on a soft subject here. Gentleman has an old Smith Corona. He wants to see if he can get it repaired. So a couple of choices. Someone suggested there is a place in Midland called Mr. Mustache. He has a whole bunch of typewriters in there, so maybe he might be able to repair them. He's normally a phone repair shop. There is a typewriter repair shop in Mesa, Arizona, where you would ship it. And their phone number is 480-964-3603. 480-964-3603. They've been in business about 50 years, according to this caller. And somebody suggested that there was, of course, a data place on Center, just north of State Street. And I know where he's talking about, but I don't know if they do repairs. You can always check and find out. Back to close out after these notes, and we'll talk to Ken Buck from Buck Insurance on Focus.
Brew at the Zoo, the adult-only fundraiser at the Saginaw Children's Zoo, is back. Join us for an evening of live music, beer and wine, tasty treats, and delicious food. All this and more are included in the ticket price of $50. An event you won't want to miss, Thursday, June 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. Visit SaginawZoo.com to order your tickets today.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you do?
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE, Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Glad to be back in the saddle. Glad you joined me this morning. We'll be back with lots more tomorrow from the Greek Festival. Meantime, stick around. We have news from CBS and the local report. Michael Purchase in the WSGW newsroom to bring you up to date on everything happening in the region and the state. And then we'll be back with Focus to talk insurance with Ken Buck.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kaifin. Forecasters say 20 million people are in the weather danger zone today. CBS's Jim Krasula tells us a dozen tornadoes raced through 4 states yesterday.
Damaging winds and tornadoes have toppled trees, damaged buildings, and left tens of thousands without power across the South. A tree fell onto Glenda Williams' mobile home in Lexington, Mississippi.
It demolished 2 rooms. It went through a bedroom, bathroom, and came out through a dining room wall.
More severe weather, including tornadoes, is likely today across the South. The highest risk area of 4 out of 5 is across much of Oklahoma.
Minnesota is getting a dose of the smoke from Canadian wildfires. It's thick in Minneapolis.
The City Parks Board canceled all outdoor activities, and a women's minor league soccer match had to be moved indoors, all because of the thick, smoky haze that lingers over much of Minnesota. State Pollution Control Agency meteorologist Matt Tarleton says the unhealthy air has consequences for anyone who spends time outside.
You'll notice tickle in your throat, coughing, itchy, watery eyes. Those are the beginning symptoms.
The smoke is expected to linger until at least tomorrow. Steve Simpson for CBS News, Minneapolis.
The Supreme Court has preserved the system that gives preference to Native American families in foster care and adoption proceedings of Native children. The justices rejecting a push from red states and some white families who argued the system is based on race. A new economic report out this morning from the government. Bankrate.com's Mark Hamrick.
Retail sales rose 0.3% in May, better than expected. And excluding vehicle sales, retail sales were up 0.1%.
And from the CDC, the homicide rate for older teenagers rose to its highest point in nearly 25 years during the pandemic. And the suicide rate for adults in their early 20s was the worst in more than 50 years. Overseas, a harsh rebuke for former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. CBS's Holly Williams in London has more on a new report about pandemic lockdown parties while he was in power.
It is brutal. They conclude that he deliberately misled the House of Commons. That's the lower house in this country. In particular, Johnson claimed in Parliament that officials told him that social distancing rules had been followed at all times at the gatherings. The committee concluded that that simply was not true.
A 23-year member of Parliament has died.
Everything I had been taught to regard as a vice.
But Glenda Jackson was better known as an Oscar-winning actress. She did it twice. Jackson died at her London home. She was 87. Checking Wall Street. Right now, the Dow is up 271 points. This is CBS News.
Hiring's a lot easier with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Tired of driving all over town just to find your favorite bottle of beer, wine, or liquor? Then look no further than Ideal Party Store in Bay City. Ideal Party Store has been making you the life of the party since 1934 with over 1,000 varieties of beer, hard to find spirits, and that perfect bottle of wine for any occasion. With locations on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue, both locations are equipped with supplies for any occasion. Put an end to your search and visit us at Ideal Party Store in Bay City on Johnson Street and Salzburg Avenue.
Ski into summer, $500 richer. Skedaddle in to Saguenay Eagles Landing for your chance to play skee ball. One lucky guest every hour rolls to win up to $500 cash. Hourly drawings noon to 9 p.m. every Friday in June. Win hot cash prizes with Ski into Summer, only at Saguenay Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit Saguenay-EaglesLanding.com for complete rules and details.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 62 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Birchup. Authorities are investigating a fire that damaged a home in Bay City on Wednesday. According to the Bay City Department of Public Safety, crews responded to the 1000 block of South Arbor Street shortly after 7. They found a residence with smoke coming from the roof. Officials say a small amount of fire was discovered in the attic, which was quickly extinguished. The fire did not spread to other areas of the house. A family of 5 safely evacuated and no injuries were reported. The Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team, or GHOST, and several partner agencies recently conducted a welfare check on 40 juveniles as part of its annual juvenile rescue operation. Officials say the youngsters may be at risk for human trafficking as people who are not attending school or not reporting to Child Protective Services after being in the system. Police say if the kids have run away, they want to know why. The kids are asked a series of questions to help identify human trafficking victims. Anyone with information about potential human trafficking is encouraged to contact their local police departments. Multiple area beaches are closed due to elevated levels of bacteria. The Huron County Health Department announced Bird Creek Village Park Beach in Port Austin was closed after testing revealed more than twice the acceptable limit of E. coli colonies in the water. According to the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, Bluebell Beach on Mott Lake in Genesee County and Singing Bridge Beach on Lake Huron were all closed for elevated levels of bacteria, as well as the beach at the Bay City State Park. Eagle says one of the reasons for the increased bacteria concentrations is stormwater runoff.